when he's not hanging around with Kong on Skull Island. This actor can be found hanging around Paris at midnight, where he gets into trouble from the night manager for showing off his crimson pea. He goes floor for Thor, even though he tries to keep it low-key. And it's Tom Hiddleston on tonight's Hollywood Swingers.
That introduction means it's time for your favourite segment of the show, Hollywood Swingers, where we celebrate those Hollywood movie stars who have swung into music. This week it is mild-mannered Tom Hiddleston.
Mild-mannered indeed. Thomas...
Hold on. Tell me about him, Paul.
Thomas William Hiddleston, born the 9th of February 1981. It was a Monday. Born in London, England, to mother Diana, who was an arts administrator, and father James, who was a physical chemist, a doctor, and a former managing director of a biotech company. And he was originally from Greenock.
His dad?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
not Tom Hiddleston, though.
Not Tom Hiddleston,
No.
no. But his dad is, and his granddad, and they used to be like working the shipyards and stuff. You wouldn't know it though because he's quite well to do. Don't start the.
Tom Hiddleston?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we know that.
Moving to Oxford in his early years, a
course
young
he did.
Hiddleston attended the Dragon School before attending Eton College. And then
Hold on, the Dragon School. There's a school called the
There's
Dragon
a school
School.
in Oxford called the Dragon School.
Opened by Daryl Dragon of Captain and Tennille. Learn how to play keyboard like a beast. The Dragon School.
Love will keep you together, much like protons and neutrons keep together. The basic building blocks of life. He was a science teacher.
But I thought Tom Hiddleston went to the Dragon School.
He did.
He's not a science teacher.
No.
He has the personality and the face of one, but
Captain
he isn't
Dragon
one.
would have been a science teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he also went to the University of Cambridge where he studied classical studies.
Never heard of it.
No. It was during university that he was discovered by a talent agent whilst he was starring in a production of A Streetcar Named Desire. And he would begin landing parts on television whilst he was still a student.
I love how they always say by a talent agent when it's actually just like some
It'll
guy's
be someone's
dad.
mum or dad, yeah. His first appearance was in an adaptation of the life and adventures of Nicholas Nickleby on telly.
Oh, okay.
And his
Is that
other
Charles
roles,
Dickens?
No.
I don't
his
know.
other roles included an appearance in an episode of Casualty,
Oh.
as you do. But much of his early work after he graduated from RADA was on the stage, and he would appear in a number of productions, including Othello alongside Ewan McGregor, and he was in the Chekhov play Ivanov alongside Kenneth Branagh. And it was that last collaboration that proved to be fruitful, as Branagh had Hiddleston appear as one of his team in the first two series of Wallander.
Oh.
He was one of the cops.
Oh, I don't watch fake Wallander.
No, do you not like you don't like fake Wallander? You just like authentic Wallander.
Yeah, I like my Wallander
Mm-hmm.
to be real.
And then Branagh suggested that Hiddleston try out for a new film he was directing. That film, of course, was the 2011 live-action adaptation of Marvel's Thor, for which Hiddleston put on a whole heap of muscle, and he donned a blonde wig to audition for the lead part.
Oh no, that's dead cringe.
It's online if you want to check it out.
No, that's
You
fine.
can
He
see
probably
it.
talked for 45 minutes.
They ultimately went for Chris Hemsworth.
'Cause you would.
instead. But Branagh did say, hey, look, that Hiddleston guy's good and I want him to play the villain, Loki. Film was a big success, made over 400 million at the box office.
People loved it.
Loved it.
I saw it.
Even the first one, which wasn't, but they loved him.
That whatever this Thor one was, that wasn't the first Thor ones.
That was the very first one.
With Loki.
Yeah,
That was Thor.
yeah.
Oh no, I'm getting confused.
And then, so the same year that he made Thor, he was also in Midnight in Paris with Owen Wilson, and he was also in that Steven Spielberg film War Horse
Right.
with the horses.
Yes.
He was back again the next year.
I always get that confused with the weird play Harry Potter did.
Because he loves a horse.
Yeah.
Too late. Yeah. Back again the next year for his second go as Loki in Marvel's Avengers.
That's the one.
He
That's
once
the one I've
again
seen.
played the big baddie, and he was met with a box office of $1.5 billion and even more critical acclaim.
And people loved
him.
it. It was like he was like doing that thing. I went to the Fringe once I went to the Fringe, every Fringe, but once at the Fringe when I was 17, I met this guy called Barry who I really fancied, but he was playing...
From EastEnders?
No, he was playing a soldier in that voice from Cornwall. He was playing the ghost of a Cornish soldier.
Right.
Now, he didn't speak like that, but he decided, I'm going to stay in character for the whole of the Fringe. And it was really annoying. And Tom Hiddleston has that energy.
Oh, see, this is where I don't want to say anything because it seems like he is the darling of the BBC and the BBC talk show circuit, where it's like, we've got a slow week this week. Who do we get on? Is Tom Hiddleston about? Get him on and ask him to do an impression of someone. And then he gets on and he does an impression that, in my opinion, is absolutely terrible.
And it's fine.
But it's just
fine.
all right.
Like,
and
he
it's
does a
one,
good Graham Norton.
It's like he'll do one line.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, here's my Alan Rickman, and then he'll go, I'm Alan Rickman, and everybody goes, and you're like, but what did he do? Didn't do anything.
No, I know, but he's posh.
Here's my Robert De Niro.
And Paul's pulling a face now. Doesn't really work in the medium of
Makes
radio.
a face. Makes. You know what face I'm pulling?
Yes.
And everybody just thinks, that's dead. He's dead. Funny, that
Right.
guy.
When you're mean about him, it means I can't be mean about him, and it's really hard for me not to be mean about.
You'll be mean about when I talk about him in a minute. The next year he was back again as Loki again for the Thor sequel, The Dark World.
Not seen that.
But he died in it, so it's fine. But then he changed their minds because everybody loved him too much. So
Yeah.
they went back, changed it, and he wasn't dead.
For the other, when he was in.
The Thor 2. He would take a break from the world of Marvel for a few years, and he starred in the 2015 Guillermo del Toro gothic horror Crimson Peak. And then he starred in the music biopic I Saw the Light. We'll come back to that later.
Okay.
2016 saw Hiddleston star in the acclaimed BBC series The Night Manager with Hugh Laurie, as well as have a short dalliance with Ashley's idol, Taylor Swift. That's why Ashley doesn't like him.
It's not why I don't like him. He was fine to her. He apparently was a nice older man
I think
to her.
he is just meant to be just really kind of nice.
It's just something cringe.
Yeah, that's big time cringe. 2017, the actor starred in the big budget monster adventure film Kong Skull Island. It was alright. As well as go back to the old comfy slippers, and he starred as Loki for his fourth Marvel film in Thor Ragnarok. The next year, number 5, Avengers Infinity War. But it's okay, he died.
But he didn't.
But then he didn't die, and he was back for number 6 with Avengers Endgame. And since then, he starred as, Loki, and not one but 2 series of his own TV show, imaginatively titled Loki, which sees our man who was a magic space Viking now travelling through time with a team of time cops to stop the universe from ending.
Cool. I don't know what you want me to say about him, Paul. I don't really have an opinion of him.
He's like a big mega star, but it's when you just start to you do nothing else except that.
He's got. Do you know how that thing where Anne Hathaway had done the Oscars and then everybody just took a guinea?
I feel like he's not been taken again yet.
No, but I feel like if he was a woman at this point, people would have taken against him. People would have taken against him by now, and it's annoying that they've not.
It's not. I'm not saying he's not a good actor. He is. I've actually watched some of that Loki stuff, and it was pretty good. He's pretty good in it. But you then watch him on these talk shows, and it's like the most banal, middle of the road anecdotes.
Got an Emmy or a Golden Globe. I think it was an Emmy. I can't remember which. But he got up and for acting, and started talking about like his humanitarian work that he'd done in Africa. But he was very self-congratulatory, and it was just really cringe, and it went on too long, and I was just like, shh, now, stop now. I'm not good at knowing when to leave a room.
Enough, Tom.
But let it go.
Let it go. Do something different. But to tonight's song, and we go back to 2015's biopic, that I Saw the Light.
Who was it a biopic about?
It was, where Hiddleston would portray the legendary singer-songwriter Hank Williams. And whilst you might not be saying anything about him sounding decent, you might at least say, hey, good looking.
Hey, good looking. What you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? Said, hey, sweet baby, don't you think maybe we could find us a brand new recipe? I got a hot rod Ford and a $2 bill, and I know a spot right over the hill. There's soda pop and the dancing's free, so if you wanna have fun, come along with me. Said, hey, good looking, you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? I'm free and I'm ready, so we can go steady. How's about saving all your time for me? No more looking, I know I've been tooken. How's about keeping steady company? I'm gonna throw my date book over the fence and buy me one for 5 or 10 cents. I keep it till it's covered with age, cause I'm writing your name down on every page. I said, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? So how's about cooking something up with me?
Oh, that was Tom Hiddleston's Hollywood Swinger. I can't actually talk about it because Paul decided to start winding me up about Taylor Swift during that song. So now I'm just annoyed at Paul and feeling very defensive on behalf of Taylor Swift. No, your mic's not up. Sorry, you can't talk.
How you like Tom Hiddleston? So
That was Tom Hiddleston with the Saddle Spring Boys singing Hey Good Looking. Here in the Ashley Story Show, we rate our Hollywood Swingers on a scale of 1 to 100 Kenny Rogers roasters, 1 being the worst, 100 being the best, Kenny Roger being the original Hollywood Swinger. Paul, we'll come to you first for your score.
yeah. It was rubbish. Didn't sound anything like Hank Williams. I think, especially if it's a biopic, you should. I think what's telling is that Hank Williams' grandson, Hank Williams III, came out when this film came out, or when the trailer came out, and basically went, he's rubbish. He doesn't sound anything like my granddad. This is an abomination. So I'm going to give that 30.
Your opinions don't matter. I'm going to give
not my
it
opinion, it's
100 Kenny Rogers
it's their
roasters.
opinions.
I listened to your summation.
You're putting words in my mouth. I didn't say it was my. It's not
You said it
only
was
my
rubbish.
opinion. It's Hank Williams' his grandson's opinion.
But he's not here to score the Kenny Rogers. You are, and you gave it 30, and I don't care. 100 Kenny Rogers roasters for Tom Hiddleston and a fantastic
Just
performance.
because he went out with Taylor Swift.
No, not because he went out with Taylor Swift, but because you were rude about Taylor Swift, and now I'm going to disagree with everything you say. Here's Led Zeppelin.
You're destroying the sanctity of this feature.
You destroyed the sanctity of our friendship when you said what you said about Taylor Swift during that song.
She's been out with a lot of boys.
She's been out with a normal amount of boys. Here, Led Zeppelin
All
with
famous.
Immigrant Song. That was Led Zeppelin with Immigrant Song. I'm going to revise my score of Tom Hiddleston because I'm not giving him 100. I'm going to give him 70. It was fine. Ryan got in touch and he gave him a 50, said it was bang average, which I think is a fair summation. I don't think it's an abomination, but I think that if you're Hank Hill, no, that's the guy from King of the Hill. Hank.
I don't like that, and I listen when I sell my propane.
That was one of the best cartoons ever. What was his name? Hank
Hill.
the Tom Hiddleston?
Oh, Hank Williams.
Hank Williams, thank you. Hank Williams' grandson.
We're getting our Hanks mixed up.
It's all hanky panky. But I think that there's nobody ever going to be completely happy with watching like their family member being portrayed.
I think the reviews for that film though were pretty stinky to the point where it was just like, no. It's like every one of these things where he does these impressions and stuff where he's just like, he has the confidence where he's like, I can do this, and it's like,
it's almost like the confidence of a boy raised in Cambridge who went to the Dragon School. What's that? Class war. It's the confidence of a boy who went to the Dragon School, Paul. I need to know more about this because it's probably some weird thing.
It's not. It's just
that
like
we're talking
it's just
about.
A boarding school.
Yeah, no, but the word dragon's in it, so you know something nefarious is going on.
They call themselves the Dragons.
Jane Jones says, don't think he quite nails Hank, but I liked it. Hank he ain't, but I'll give it 55 Kenny Rogers roasters. Why didn't they get Hank the Third to play his grandpappy? He sounds just like him.
But he probably can't act. The best would have been you get Hiddleston to play Hank Williams and then Hank Williams the Third to dub over the singing.
Or you just have them mime to
old Hank Williams.
Yeah. Craig and Sharon and Rutherglen say, hi Ashley and Paul, not a fan of Tom as an actor, but that's pretty good if a little bit bland. Hank Williams. So 70 Kenny Rogers roasters from us. Craig and Sharon, thank you so much for getting in touch. Kate and Sonny Oben says, just in from work, 65 Kennys from me. He wasn't that bad. Take it that was from the film. Guessing Ashley won't be happy. I'm not bothered by it. I just think,
can we also talk about the person who's never got in touch with the show but has gotten in touch to defend the honour of Concorde?
yes, Concorde had one accident in 30 years caused by debris on the runway, says an anonymous texter who's never got in touch with the show before.
Well,
I
don't know the ins and outs of that, but
you don't know.
I
literally don't know.
I literally don't know. I wasn't there.
What time am I starting this at? 30 seconds past. So that's Concorde. Somebody says, Thomas says SNL Rome song on YouTube's. I don't want to.
Think that
is this to do with everybody talking about how all the men think about Rome all the time?
Pretty much.
But you don't, Paul.
No.
You just think about going to golf and then you went by yourself and felt embarrassed and had to leave.
I didn't feel embarrassed. It was just boring.
Oh, with nobody to talk to. No. Make golf friends. Make golf friends. No. Okay, it's coming up for 12 o'clock and there will be the midnight news. But before then, here's Chic with Good Times.